What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the LetDirtFly YouTube channel.
Today, we're going to be installing a PERFEX lift kit on the CFMOTO CFORCE 600.
That's right. So Seth's daughter finally gave him permission to turn this thing into a mud quad, but those don't look like mud tires, dude.
They're not. They're a really nice aggressive trail tire, but...
You know what does look like a mud tire?
What looks like a mud tire?
This.
Oh, my original 28-inch Tarachis that I was running on my Polaris.
Yep, so these things have been sitting around because right now Seth's brother's using the thing as a plow quad, I think, right?
No, he's using it as a hunting quad.
He's using it as a hunting quad, but these things have just been sitting around doing nothing, and yeah, we want to put the CFMOTO in some mud, so.
So we always talk about the capabilities, you know, of what this quad could actually do. And we never know what it could really do in the mud because we're not turning mud tires, so.
What we're saying is we're probably gonna break it.
We're saying we're gonna test it.
We are gonna put it to the LetDirtFly test, essentially. But our friends over at PERFEX sent us out this beautiful lift kit. We've installed their lifts in the past on our Can-Am Outlanders, and there was nothing but quality in this box.
Yes.
So let's go ahead, let's get this thing opened up and see what comes in it.
All right, guys, so what you're gonna get in the box? Bubble wrap.
Gotta have that.
PERFEX front. I love the way they do this.
Yeah, not many companies do this.
Rear hardware.
That's kind of self-explanatory. Guessing that's a shock bracket of some sort?
Yep, this is a front shock bracket. I don't know left or right. Here's the other front one. And then your rear.
Dude, look at the way this
with axle spacers. Look at it. He's even got the PERFEX written in there.
That's awesome.
So, it's pretty freaking cool.
The same thing happened with the skid plate and the other lift kits and everything we did.
Yep.
But I mean, look at that. That's cool. The fact that they separate everything and just don't give you a bag, just one bag of parts.
And then...
Oh, the destructions.
The destructions.
We'll probably need those. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's also get our tools together and see what we're gonna need for those. And then we'll get the quad jacked up, get the wheels off, and we'll get into the nitty gritty.
Roger that.
All right, Seth, so what do we got for tools here?
All right, so you're gonna need 14, 15, 17 sockets or wrenches. Also a 30 for the axle nut. Hoping that's a 30, we'll find out as we get to that part. It says you're gonna need a grinder. We use impacts, but if you need, you know, just grab yourself a socket, no big deal. And that should be all the tools that we need.
All right, so we already got the front end up and we already got the wheels removed. So the next step is we're gonna disconnect the bottom of the shock using, it says, a 15mm wrench. On our quad, it's actually a 17, so they might have changed it throughout the years. So 17mm for ours, could be different on yours, but let's go over to the quad and see what Seth has going on.
All right, so basically you just take this bolt out of this spot, swing it up a little bit, grab the front
hardware, you knew exactly what to grab.
I did. All right, guys, so we're doing what are you doing? Right side of the quad. I'm putting this piece to the back. I don't know what the instructions say, but it actually fits in there. Nice. It hooks over this, I don't know, what do you want to call it, a cross member here?
It's like a brace for the front air.
And then, you know.
That's kind of all it does, huh?
A bolt.
I'm guessing we got a spacer that goes between the shock mount you might want to get first. Yeah, yep.
So, probably too much now.
Yeah, you're just about right.
Just about,
there you go.
All right, so bolt.
How many guys does it take to put one bolt in a freaking suspension? I feel like a union worker now. There you go. All right, so when installing our bolts here, looks like we're gonna use some M10 washers. They're gonna go to help support your shock. Your shock's gonna mount in this hole up here. And it looks like we got our big, large washer that's gonna, or spacer that's gonna go there. And pretty self-explanatory, she just drops right in.
So, can you see how she's lined right now? Close,
yep.
Not close?
Yeah, you look good.
All right, trying to hold that with my chest.
All right, so bolts going in. It does help having a little bit of pry bar around.
Just something to help torque it a little.
Suspension is pretty tight. Our axle still looks like it's at a decent angle though. It doesn't look too crazy.
No.
Yes, hit the shock on the bottom and dent it this way.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, you just gotta get this back washer in place.
I got the fire, it looks like.
Close. I'm just trying to get it
Started.
close enough, yeah. All right, there it goes. And then through the back. Every time I move it,
There she is.
it changes it slightly, so.
All right. And no washer there. Just
Nope, we'll just
that's
kind
what
of
you
dry
should-
fit them right there.
she should look like. You should have 2 washers on either side of the shock, and then
The spacer in the
spacer
back.
in the back, which I
underneath.
don't know if I can get a picture of there.
Yeah, it's underneath.
Yep. And then now we should just have to tighten her up. All right, guys, so that is it for the front, literally. That is
That's
awesome.
the whole lift right there.
Super easy. I mean, you can see everything looks really nice. And obviously, as always with Perfect stuff, their stuff is super thick and beefy. So
It really is.
feeling this is gonna last a long time, but now we gotta get onto the rear, and the rear looks a little bit more
A
involved.
little more complicated in the rear, it looks like.
Yep, so let's go ahead and we're gonna read the instructions real quick and see what we need to do. All right, so we're now on to the rear portion of this lift.
So we chose to do this side. We did the other side first just to kind of see how it went. This side's got more involved to it, so we're gonna film this side. You gotta take the bolt of the muffler off so that the muffler is gonna be loose. We take the top of the shock off. We take this off, the upper A-arm. Axle nut, pop it all out. We gotta grind slightly back here. So,
Yeah, that part is gonna actually touch the A-arm, so he's gotta notch the brake a little bit.
yep, just kind of take that point off of it, flatten it out.
Yep, just a little bit.
So,
So right now Seth's gonna go ahead, pop the axle nut off, get the other bolts out, and show you how to do it all.
let's see. Oh my God.
Oh my God, the exhaust literally fell right out. Jesus.
Really did.
Now is that just screw into the frame?
Yeah,
got
it
a
just
nut in it?
bolts right into the frame, no nut.
Quite a spot, huh?
Am I tightening or loosening? I can't see. There we go.
Sounds like loosening.
So 15, 15, 15. All our 15s. You didn't grab me the hammer or the pliers.
Oh. That works as a hammer too. All right.
I typically do this just to know what came off of what.
Makes sense.
This thing is so crooked. And the hammer.
There you go.
30 millimeter.
Big impact makes easy work of it.
So you're not going to be using this bolt again. They give you.
That's actually not.
Sorry. You're not going to be using this nut again. They give you a new one in the package.
Yep, this is slightly shorter. It's very similar when we did it on the Can-Ams. So Seth is pulling the axle out.
Getting extra dirty.
Yep. We're going to be putting in our new axle spacer.
All right, so the axle spacer goes on.
Self-explanatory.
Yes.
Before you go too crazy, don't forget we got to do our grinding.
Okay.
We just got to notch just the corner right there.
Yeah, this guy right, where is it? Right there.
Yep. Because we just don't want that to interfere with our A-arm. So Seth's gonna grab. We were gonna use a grinder, but it actually worked out better. He has a like carbide looking bit.
Yeah, I got a carbide bit on the drill.
Yep.
And this stuff is aluminum, so.
Am I in your way?
A little bit, but let's see if I can get it.
It is only soft aluminum, so it actually chews up pretty easily. Obviously, careful of your brake line when doing this with a grinder or this.
I don't know how much to take off, so.
I think he just kind of said a little bit.
I mean, it just takes that 90 out, so.
What we can do is we'll leave the upper bolt here loose, and when we get the lift bracket put in up by the shock there, I think we'll go ahead and just test fit and make sure everything looks good. Seth is wearing his safety spins.
Yes. All right, so that should be more than enough. Okay.
No, we'll see how our grinding did once we get the lift bracket installed and get the shock on. He did say to remove the shock top and bottom, I think.
Yeah, well, that's for these.
Yes.
So. Close. Yeah.
I'm gonna get your hole lined up.
All right, so we have the new axle nut on, the spacer in here, the exhaust is loosened, ready to go, and our shock towers on top are loose, ready to be manipulated. And my light just doesn't like me.
Yeah, it keeps shutting off.
Let's move you.
I still can't believe how loose that exhaust is from the factory like that. It's very strange.
Pretty freaking wild. Not gonna lie.
I'm guessing they have shine a light back down there. It's got to be, yeah. So they got springs down there and probably just a cup.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why. Which makes things kind of nice actually for that reason.
I mean, it's nice that it moves around. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's a little different though. Something
all right,
you're not used to.
So let's figure this out. So when installing this, you should install it so that you can actually read it.
Yep.
You don't want to install it this way because.
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
You can do it any way you want. It's just.
It makes sense to do it the right way. All right, guys. So one thing we actually just did is we actually just took out the these bolts again because it turns out if you read directions helps a little bit. Seth. But the reason we do this is this way we can help relax the suspension a little bit. It's going to make it easier to install our brackets up in here because it's going to be tight. So leave your bolts out for now, and then we're going to get the new brackets in there and everything. All right, so
Okay.
time to try to get this bracket in here. So we got our new hardware here.
Right here.
We got the spacer. So that's also showing you on that camera. And our nut.
Well, nut.
And he's got both brackets laying in here. Oh wait, I just realized you gave me the parts.
I wasn't gonna. You just went over there, so.
I gotta try to get the shock out of my way here.
Oh.
And the exhaust and everything else.
My side, I have to go bolt going to the front.
Bolt going,
Or nut going to the front, sorry. Nut to the
nut
front.
to the front. I can do that too on my side, so. Alright, I gotta get the shock out of my way first.
The shocks are nice and tight in there, right? Even though they're disconnected?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to even just get.
Trying to keep this out of your way.
And through.
All right, second plate coming in.
I need like more on my side or something?
I'm in my hole.
in your hole.
I'm in my hole.
Okay, well, I'm hitting something here. Oh, first of all, you got the logo on backwards.
Nice.
The thing you told people not to do.
I know, right?
We gotta notch the bracket a little bit. I think it's close, but I can't. Here, can you push the exhaust up? There you go, so I can actually see. Yeah, dude, we got like that's like a 1/4 inch. Okay.
Still got to do it.
Yeah. You got it easier that time.
The next thing is like the front. Do your bolt through washer. How's that work? Into your shock. Washer on the back side of the shock, right through. Beautiful, nice and easy.
All right, so bolts just like the front. Washer, which is hard to do with gloves on here.
Somebody has cold hands because they're a sissy.
Well, if somebody had freaking heat in their garage, it'd be nice. Oh, there goes the nut.
I don't have a garage, I have a barn.
Pry bar action just to help straighten it. There you go.
You got it?
Yep.
All right.
She's all in, and now all we gotta do is tighten her down, and then we'll see how our distance is here with the corner of the brake caliper to our A-arm. We'll check that right now.
All right.
Geez, can I have a key to handle that?
The angle's a little off. I probably should have had a short.
We actually found that Seth's
Boot has
rear boot
a
there.
little tear.
Yep, so gotta get that fixed at some point, so he's probably gonna be pulling this back apart.
Unfortunately, yeah.
In the future. We at least want to get it done for this video. But
Let's see if that sucks in or...
it's actually sometimes nice doing mods to your quads, because then you find other issues like I did the other day with my quad. I found I had a hole in my drain tubes off of my airbox, so that could have led to a swamped quad this summer, so this coming summer.
No bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. So how does that look over here?
Let's take a look here. I had the camera. She is touching currently.
She's currently touching?
So we gotta grind a little bit more.
All right.
So our spot we had to grind here, we didn't grind enough. It's better to start with not enough and work our way.
Too much.
So yeah, so it's just touching here ever so slightly, which is no big deal. We can get that all fixed. Yeah, we got some air now.
Okay. So
Very little bit of air, but there is air.
all right, so
Very gentle touch there, very gentle.
yeah. All right.
Look at that.
Let me
That basically
tighten.
means this side is done. Now he's got to tighten that up.
Yeah. And we already tightened that, right? Yes.
Yep, I think that's all tightened. I think he's got to tighten my side up.
Yep. Well, we gotta check your side for.
Grinder clearance there.
Yes.
All right, so we'll check that out. We will get, we're gonna show you what we have to do with the exhaust now, and then also tighten up our upper shock mount. All right, so now we're on to the right side of the quad. We ended up off camera just notching.
Just a little extra.
Just a little bit more, just to make sure we did have good clearance to our A-arm. And Seth's just gonna throw the nut on for the castle nut there for the axle, and then throw the bolt in, just to make sure we're looking good before we tighten stuff up. Doesn't hurt. Survey says, doesn't look like it hit. There is a very fine air gap. Might just have to trim it a smidge.
You want it since you're right there? Oh, look, I didn't need that rock, did I?
What, rock you said?
Yeah, a rock fell out. All right.
How we look?
Castle nuts on.
Got
Pins in.
This guy's tightened up?
This guy's tight. Now we gotta get up here and tighten these guys.
All right, let's do that.
I don't know if that's... Still spinning. That's tight.
Look at that.
Perfect. Okay, so you have 12 washers. They're the larger ones. You have one smaller one that goes out here. Bolt through. Try and do 6 and 6. I'll probably drop them all and lose them. Okay.
It's quite the stack of washers.
It is quite the stack. Okay, so she goes like so. 17 millimeter. I don't know if you can see it.
Nope.
She's in.
Is that
She's
it?
in. Yeah, that's in. These are both tight. This is tight. That's tight.
Okay, wheels. All right, guys, so now it's time to finally get the wheels on this thing. Now, you might have heard us mention before that we're gonna be throwing Seth's old Polaris wheels on here. Well, obviously, the bolt patterns are different, unfortunately. Going to the CFMOTO. CFMOTO uses a Honda bolt pattern, I believe it is.
4x110.
4x110, and the Polaris is 4x156, which is a massive difference. But Seth ended up picking up some wheel spacers that actually have that conversion built into them. Yeah. So let's see what we got here.
They're 4x110 by 4x156. They're 1.25 inches, which, you know, the smallest ones I was able to find were 1 inch, but you know, what's really 1/4 inch? They come with the lug nuts for the CFMOTO side, the 4x110, which is, I believe, a 10-125 is the thread.
All right.
And the outside ones are actually 12-125.
It's a lot larger. As you can see, the studs are huge.
Massive. They're almost like car studs. So
it's actually be a good thing because Seth seems to lose tires now. Apparently, that's a thing. If you guys caught the video of,
you know what, dude? Have you ever ridden a quad till the wheels fell off? No. You can't even talk to me.
Is that what you're going with?
That's it.
All right. That's what he's going with. That's what he's gonna stick with.
That's it.
So we're gonna get these wheel spacers on. Now, it is a good idea to get wheel spacers after doing a lift to a machine that has A-arms, because if we look at the front of the machine here, it actually brings your hubs inwards. So having some kind of wheel spacer will be nice to return your stability to the front of the machine and everything, and well, to the machine just in general. So this just so happens that we needed it anyway to fit these wheels on here. So Seth's gonna go ahead and get these wheel spacers on, and I'll give him a hand doing that real quick, and then we're gonna throw these Polaris wheels on. All right, guys, she's on the ground here. And first thing I noticed actually when we're setting her down is, actually, believe it or not, this thing has got a ton of ground clearance now. We unfortunately forgot to
measure it.
We unfortunately got to measure our ground clearance before and after. We did that in our other video on the Can-Ams, but that thing, so that's got a PERFEX lift in it, and now this does, and it's almost just as freaking tall. It's got the plow bracket in there, obviously.
28s to 30s, but yeah, I mean, the front end is high.
And actually, these tires are not inflated right now. They're actually basically flat.
They're duds.
They're duds.
They've been off quad for so long.
So we're probably gonna take it out now, go get some air in the tires up top.
One thing, I don't know exactly what the offset on the factory CFMOTO is. I don't think it's a 6.1. It doesn't look like it. And these are actually a 4.3, so we actually gained an inch of poke with the wheels, and then we gained an 1.25 inches with the wheel spacer. So we actually moved these tires out 2.25 inches.
Yeah. But
I believe they recommend 2-inch spacers if you're doing this and putting your factory wheel back on.
Really? Okay, so we're right there.
So we're just a little heavy, but you know, we're right there.
It's not bad though, and like I was saying before, once you go up with the suspension on a A-arm machine like this, because this isn't long travel, it does bring your wheels in quite a bit, or your hubs in.
You can really see.
So yeah, but I mean, the poke is not bad. I mean, we still had to do an alignment on it. That's why this one looks like
with these tires, you are getting filthy. It's gonna be like a Renegade.
But this one, if we put the wheel straight on this side, which is basically straight, this one, you can see the poke is not bad. We have about like 1.5 inches of poke, almost 2 inches.
It's not bad.
So it's definitely not bad at all. And
now, why don't you show them the actual clearances? Because there's a ton.
Yeah, so fronts definitely don't. Actually, the only place it looks like it might rub on is your, if you want to give a full turn, possibly your plow bracket, which is not obviously not going to be on there. I'm not going to have to fire up.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it right now.
But yeah,
I think
won't be there.
The other ones I had actually caught it too.
Yeah. So now, does this usually have inner plastic?
It does. I don't keep them.
Okay, so yeah, so they might rub on those, but I don't think we're gonna have an issue with that. And the rear,
we were just scraping a little bit with the 27s.
Oh, we should be good now, dude. I think it was hitting right up in here before with the 27s. So
it's so much room.
We got a lot of room now.
So much room.
Wow. And dude, it actually looks so sick. If anything, I think you have the front suspension pretty tight right now.
I have all of them maxed out.
You'd have all.
They're all 4 maxed out.
Okay.
So
right now we're gonna do a quick alignment on this thing, and then we'll get her outside and get a final look at her. All right, guys, so that's going to conclude our install of the 1.5-inch PERFEX lift for this 2020 CFMOTO. We think it turned out really awesome.
It really did. It was heavy duty, easy install. I would give it like a 1 wrench, honestly.
Yeah, it was actually
it was very easy.
Super simple. Now, obviously, we finally got our 28-inch Tarachis on here, so coming up soon, we're going to be throwing this thing in the mud to actually test this thing and do a real mud test. Yep. Something we've been wanting to do with this machine.
Yep, and we just have to do a little clutch work, which we'll probably make another video on.
Yep.
With that, if you're looking for a PERFEX lift for your machine, skid plates, anything that they offer, use discount code LetDirtFly10. It'll save you 10%, help us out a little bit.
And you get to save.
Yeah, and save, and you get a quality part.
So with that, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. We really appreciate your support. Seth, where can they catch us on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can catch us on Facebook and Instagram. Shoot us a message. Got a question? We'll try and answer it.
So until next time, we'll have to catch you on
LetDirtFly.
Have you forgotten when you were